Fellow Barbadians, I'm Romero Lashley, and I'm here to tell you why I have no choice right now but to be a prospective candidate with United Progressive Party under the leadership of Ms. Lynn Eastman. You know, Charles Dickens once said in A Tale of Two Cities that he was experiencing the best of times and the worst of times. He referred to the parallel existence of the winter of despair and the spring of hope. I think this reference applies well to Barbados at this point in time. We are a wonderful country, blessed of God, with many attributes of which we can be proud. But we are at this time experiencing our own winter of despair. Economic hardship has spanned the last several years, and by all predictions, is going to get worse. We need at this time to marshal all the resources, all the goodwill that our country can muster, and bring us through this hard time and bring us into better times. That cannot obtain unless we change some of our values, unless we change the ways we're doing things. And I have chosen to align myself with the United Progressive Party because it represents those values and those practices that I believe can bring us out of the hardships that we are facing. I believe our country needs at this point in time strength in holding to our values and creativity. We need energy. We need to be a brother's keeper. And I believe that if we apply all these principles to the situation that we're in, we can do better. We can achieve success. We can come through this difficulty by applying all the old rules, all the old practices that are obtained. The old politics cannot obtain. The politics that allows for wastage, the politics that satisfies greed, the politics that embraces corruption. Not, thank God, not the kind of corruption that we see in many countries where almost nothing works. But we still have in this country practices that allow largesse to be the way of life of some persons, and the suffering and the hardship tends to be disproportionately represented among the poor. Charles Dickens referred to called his book A Tale of Two Cities. It is in fact a reality for Barbados that there are two Barbadoses. There's a Barbados for the rich. There's a Barbados for those for whom the word economic hardship is just an academic terminology. And there's a Barbados for those persons for whom economic hardship is a day-to-day reality, as a struggle to pay for basic utilities, as a struggle to manage food, as a struggle to manage bus fare for children. For those who do not walk that road, this may seem a joke, but for many Barbadians, economic hardship and making ends meet is not a joke. It is a daily struggle. I want to align myself with a party that wishes to make a difference. I want to align myself with a party that doesn't believe that the front of the bus should be so far from the rear of the bus that people in leadership can talk about increases in taxation and can talk about spreading the tax net way down to snow cone vendors, right down to motor car mechanics, down to persons who do body work beside the road, broaden the tax net to bring even greater hardship upon the poor, while those at the very back of the bus wonder what world do they live in? Where do they expect to find another dollar out of my pocket? I, in particular, have a keen interest in the area of education. It's where I've worked for the past 3 decades, I guess. Almost 30 years in teaching in the public sector, and before that, working in a training capacity in industry. I've worked on training on education projects both here and abroad, and I bring a wealth of experience in education to bear on the things that interest me. And I am particularly interested in reform in our education system. There are many countries, we laud Finland and we laud New Zealand, to some extent countries in the Far East, for educational advancements that they have made. We don't need to copy those. What we need to copy is a preparedness to take an education system and molded to address our own cultural needs. We need to have the courage to take things that have been traditionally entrenched, re-examine them, and see to what extent are they relevant, to what extent are they shaping our country into the country that we want. I want to do this for our education system. I want to take us beyond the the system we have right now, which caters best for those who are academically gifted and in a narrow set of areas, and create for us an education system that lifts all persons forward. I want for us to have an education system that not only addresses the needs of the mind, but that addresses the needs of the personality and the needs of the spirit. We need an education system that empowers our citizens and prepares them for taking social action and taking this country forward. As we have said in other fora, we do not believe that 30 politicians with the very best of intentions can do as well for Barbados as 280,000 nationals empowered and freed and, and willing to take Barbados forward. We want to move beyond the 30 to have all of us join in the process of making this Barbados one we can be proud of. We can overcome our struggles. The Lord has been the people's guide for the past 300 years, and with Him still on the people's side, we have no doubts and fears. Join with me and support the United Progressive Party as we seek to make this a better country. I'm Romero Lashley, and I'm candidate for Christ Church East. Thank you.